was always someone that no one really wanted to hang around. But for me, it took me a long time for me to understand why I needed to say sorry.
That was what felt like actually caused the shit.
Yeah, I know that me being a black man in general is seen as a minority. It's seen as a problem in society. So why would I then want to then do something like that to somebody else just because I may not be Asian or I may not be Muslim? It makes no sense. I'm just happy not to be the person I was back then. Even though US talent may be great, if you're associated with someone who's disrespectful and rude, it's gonna backfire.
So you were really, really vulnerable.
Yeah.
About you not getting like brand deals and, you know, working with the type of brands, etc. that you kind of saw yourself or think you should be working with at this stage in your career, right?
Do not take it personal. But when the time is right, it will come.
Do you see why you needed to be pulled back?
Oh yeah. Been humbled a lot. My pride has gone down a lot. I'm now ready for the next season of my life. 2021 was a very ugly time for me, but I'm grateful for it.
Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of the Wunmibello show. I hope you're good. So I'm very excited for today's conversation. I have a lot to say, so I'm trying to figure out exactly how we want to mind map this. But I feel like the way I see this conversation playing out in my mind, I kind of see it as almost like a redemption arc, a moment to really humanize someone who deserves to be humanized in a way that they haven't yet. I feel like being someone who's online, especially when you come online at quite a young age, I think it's very hard for you to portray yourself or show yourself fully, authentically, holistically in the way that you might want to when it's a little bit too early. And I think that's the story of the person I'm speaking to today. I'm speaking to Ehiz. Over 12 million followers on TikTok, but I don't feel like with those 12 million followers, they really have an understanding of who he is. There's been a lot of conversations online over the last few weeks, should I say. So we want to really break that down and really understand who the human is behind the TikTok.
Hello.
Superstar. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm really good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited for this conversation. I keep saying to myself, like, where do I even want to start? Because I think we were saying off camera just now that how organic it was for us to even get here. Because even the way that I like called you.
Yeah.
And after I called you and I was like, I really feel like we need to have this conversation. I don't know where this is coming from. Like, I don't know if you resonate. And what did you say?
I literally asked God literally minutes before that even if you get someone to call me or speak to me, God is so intentional.
It was insane.
It was natural the way it happened. Yeah.
Literally, I was like, right before I even called you, I was like, God, is that now the time? Like, this sounds a bit random. Like, because I messaged you a few days prior to this, right? I messaged him a few days prior. I didn't get in touch with him. Then I was like literally on my bed. I was like, I feel like I just need to call him right now. And I called you right as soon as you finished that prayer.
Yeah, literally the way God works. Like when they say God works in mysterious ways, He really does. And I think the more you grow in Christ and the more you grow into opening your spiritual ears and eyes, you start to realize that God is not just a being. He actually is in the room. And I think once you open that door, He can come in. You know, 100%. The Bible does say like knock on the door, be opened, and the door was open and He came. And it was just crazy how it was just that moment that the conversation that we had was intentional, it was meant to be.
Honestly. And I feel like today's one, I've said this to you already, that for me, it's about understanding who you are, not, the TikTok star, not the man that we see making these faces, these jokes, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
We want to, I feel like there hasn't really been a moment where we've been able to like really profile you and understand who you are. But before we get into the depth of the conversation, I like to play a little game. A little this or that to lighten off the load before we get real serious. Okay, cool. So first question, TikTok or YouTube?
I think TikTok. Yeah, TikTok. Yeah.
Post 3 times a day or not post for a whole month?
3 times a day. Yeah, 3 times a day.
Because that's what you were doing.
Yeah.
TikTok algorithm loves you or brands get you?
TikTok algorithm loves me. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I think because I bring something to the app that a lot of people don't necessarily like see from other creators. Not to say that other creators don't bring anything to the app, but I think for me, God has appointed me to be on that platform to make people laugh and smile. So when I see the comments that people say about how like, they had a bad day or like, their mood has been lifted up because of my video, that goes to show me that it's not just about the money. It's about mental health, which means way more than money. And I'm a testament of that. So I think sometimes with brands, it's a little bit of a hard egg to crack. But I think the most important thing is that I have the positive effect and that positive outcome, to the masses that reflects on my work. So
I feel you. 12 million followers again, or a solid team behind you?
I'll say solid team.
Yeah, I'm happy you said that.
Yeah, I'll say solid team because I think in an industry like this, it's really important that your mental health is, okay at all times. And, as a human being, that's what one wants. But it's not always like that. And it's good that one has a support system that is able to, be there with you in the highs and the lows. Because even though, each and every single one of us are created in our own way, we do need that backing somehow. God will always send a man, he'll always send a helper. And that's what makes a team stronger. And that's what builds, an empire.
Solid team. We're going to get into all of that. I think your team, your infrastructure, I think just your whole setup is something that I feel like has radically changed over the years. But I don't want us to jump before we, Cool. So I wanna go back a little bit and just really get an understanding of you before the internet, before we got exposed to you. So talk to me about who you were before the algorithm.
So grew up, born and raised in London. East London to be exact. Family of 8, 9, I think. Oh. I've got I've got 2 brothers, 1 older brother. Then I got an older sister, then it's me. Then I got 2 younger sisters and 1 younger brother. So full house.
Oh my gosh, that's a huge house.
Grew up in church, sang at church. Well, I've always been creative. Worked multiple retail jobs.
What retail jobs?
Lush, Nando's, JD, Primark, Next, Superdrug.
I'm waiting for you to say McDonald's.
Oh, no, I actually applied many times and God just didn't let it happen. He knows his reason as to why, but so I did many jobs. I think for me, the whole world of work happened after 2015 when I left school to go into college. That whole part of semi-independent living, earning your own money, and just going into the real world as opposed to just full-time education at school. So
I'm thinking, were you always funny in school? Was that a thing?
Yes. Yeah, always. The thing is, I always was, and I always believe I am, and I always have been. It was just a matter of time how that would be received by the right people. So primary school had a lot of friends, almost birthday party almost every weekend. There was so many friends.
And then what was secondary school like? Well, primary school you were received well.
Yeah.
And then what was secondary school like?
Secondary school, I went to an all-boys Catholic school. So it was very different from going to a mixed school. So year 7 started off having quite a few friends because a lot of us transitioned from primary to secondary. And then, as time goes on, people change, and a lot of my female friends who went to the girls' school a few blocks down the street, I hardly saw them that much for the remainder of my secondary school life, really. And as time went on, I just started to drift away from friends that I had. It wasn't necessarily the best experience, I'd say. It was quite dark, but I think the light.
Dark?
Yeah, it's quite dark. Yeah, but the light for me was college. That changed everything completely. It gave me more hope because I was in a situation where, it was everything was new, fresh, new slate, new people, new students, everything was completely different. And I was working then at the time as well. So I had a lot of flexibility to be free outside of school.
In a way that you weren't in secondary school.
Yeah.
What would you say was the difference between the person you were in secondary school and the person you were in college?
I think I healed a lot more. I was very frustrated and just upset with this people just because of the way I was perceived. I was always someone that no one really wanted to hang around. So it
secondary school.
Secondary, yeah. So for me, it was a lot of learning along the way. So even when it came to me learning and introducing myself to new people and having new friendships, I had to keep telling myself, this is not like school. It's different. They don't know you. So start afresh.
Yeah.
You don't need to tell anyone about your previous life. Everyone just they love you for you, and that's how it should be. Yeah.
When you say, because I'm thinking, if you're someone who's naturally super funny in primary school, you're received in this way, and then you go to secondary school and then you're humble, and it's oh, am I really? So were they not receiving your? Was it that they weren't receiving your humor? Was it that? What was the disconnect? Would you say?
I think a lot of it stemmed from just me being overly confident and just bold.
Oh, okay.
I think with a lot of men, from what I've experienced from a lot of boys as well, is that when you're someone who is creative, when you're outspoken, when you're bubbly, when you're flamboyant, they don't want to kind of shun that down. And I think that also goes a lot to toxic masculinity, a lot of it. So I think the shift also, when I knew that things were people kind of were ops, would you say, was when I actually won the talent show in year 7, and I was the first one to win it. first place. And I think any single time I would sing at mass or school, that would be like my time to like shine and show these people like, you know, who I am. And it was kind of like, I don't know, the way like girls normally are like quite bitchy, men are the complete opposite. They kind of like hold it in. But I could see through that, you know, and there was a lot of like, just jealousy and arguments and stuff like that. I never really got into physical fights, many like verbal and stuff.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really genuinely like really happy
in secondary school.
Yeah.
So was it kind of like, because for me, secondary school was like my freedom. Woo, I can go and live.
Yeah.
So for you, was home that?
Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah. Home was that place because, I think because my family know who I am, and they've always been supportive in any way. So coming home was like, my safe haven. I could come home and be like, okay, cool. Yeah, this is what I went through, and at the same time, I didn't like also like telling my parents that and my siblings that because they knew how it would affect me. So
what do you mean? Like
the bullying and stuff at school and the experience I had. Yeah. So I think it was it was definitely really tough because I didn't really want to like have to keep telling my parents and my family like this is what's going on over and over again, like it was like never ending. And even though like they wanted me to like talk and explain, which I did, but I didn't want that to always be, you know, the topic of conversation. Like why can't we ever like talk about something that's like fun? You know, there was always arguments or there was always issues with friends and, you know, falling out. And then also because of me having a bad experience at school, it led me to be genuinely upset and frustrated with everyone. Even if you weren't necessarily like trying to do anything or had any bad agenda, I got quite defensive, just frustrated and angry and just annoyed, very outspoken. But I think over time, I think college for me was that moment where I was able to like really heal from that. And that gave me like that chance at life again, would you say? Yeah.
That. Was that when you started the YouTube channel? So I know you started YouTube years
Yeah, so I
ago.
started it 2011. So I started it at school.
Secondary school?
Yeah, secondary school. Yeah. So I actually started it within the midst of all of that. Because when I used to watch YouTube at the time, there were people that I saw on social media that I, you know, was inspired by. And even though a lot of them maybe were bullied or not, they were living a life that I wanted to live, which wasn't like, you know, they weren't put down in chains. They were going to like events. They were going on brand trips. They were basically meeting their followers and their fans. And it just felt very, very like homey. And because that was the complete opposite of school, it just, it was like when I came home, first thing on the laptop, YouTube, like, let me just go and just see the vlogs. Even if I saw a vlog like 10 times already, that's my serotonin. So let me just go and watch that. So, yeah.
And so you were doing YouTube for some while. I feel like I remember in, I don't know if it was a live that you did or a conversation that I was watching, but I guess it wasn't the platform that was like performing the best for you.
Yeah.
Right? But you still kind of stuck at it.
Yeah.
And then you went to, I think you left it for a little while. Yeah. You spent like 2 years off the platform and then you went off and just went to go work. So when you were doing YouTube, was your intention like, okay, I want to, like, this is going to be it? Yeah,
100%. Yeah, I definitely was saying like, I want to make this my career. I always knew I wanted to be an actor. I always wanted to have a talk show. You know, I saw shows like Ellen and like all these big shows in America, and I wanted to have my own like that.
Yeah.
That was the vision I always had. I didn't know how I was going to get there, but that was the vision I always had. But YouTube for me was it. Well, I thought it was it at the time. And I would film, edit, posts on the same day alongside school. So it was like all on the same day.
Yeah.
And I think even though like some people might say it was unhealthy, but that was where I felt most comfortable. And I think, after doing that for so long, it wasn't moving anywhere. It wasn't getting any followers, wasn't getting any subscribers, no views, but I still had the vision. And I said, I still want to do it. Even if no one's watching it, I will watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was fine with that because that's what kept me busy. And then I realized that I was just trying so hard and I just wasn't getting anywhere with it. So I left it for around maybe 1.5 to 2 years. And then after college, I just started working part-time alongside uni. And then TikTok came around. And then from there, everything changed.
Let's talk about the rise, because I titled it The Rise of Ehiz.
Yeah.
So you created was it that one TikTok video and then that one blew up?
Yeah.
So was that your first one?
Yes, it was the first
video?
one. Yeah, the first one. Yeah. It just created How God Works. It was the first video I ever did. It was a video I already saw on TikTok anyway, but I kind of put my own spin on it because I didn't really know, because I know TikTok was Musical.ly before. It was like more of a musical app, and then I didn't really gel well with it, but TikTok was what was popping then and still is now. So I was on there for a bit, and then I remembered very vividly, I posted the video. I didn't even know my notifications were even off. I posted the video. The next day I had drama school, because I had drama school on the weekends. And then...
Oh, you were really pursuing acting?
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
And then I think all our phones have to be off during like training. Turn my phone back on afterwards, and then my younger sister was like, OMG, you're going viral, like, what are you talking about? Because I know me and her, like, we are very sarcastic towards each other, but I'm like, what on about, like, behave yourself. Because I didn't believe it, I didn't think anything of it. And then she said, you have like 10k views, then 300k views, and she said, oh, it's going up. I said, what do you mean? So I opened the app, and I was like gobsmacked. It's never happened before. Well, no one around me knew what was going on, so I had to like keep that to myself until I got home. And then my mum said she was even scared because when she heard shouting, my mum was like, her heart was racing, like, what's going on? And she was like, Ehiz, now you have these followers, don't stop now. This is what you always wanted. Keep doing it and do something. Just make people smile as you always do. And from there, it's just gone up and up and up and up from there. Yeah.
It's interesting because you think like you're someone who's attempted I don't know how long you were doing YouTube for.
I've done it since 2011.
Wow, so
years.
Yeah. And then you finally have your moment where it's like, ooh, I'm being seen in the way that I, kind of want to be seen. Yeah. What did that feel like? What did that moment
It felt very liberating for me. And I think I get that trait of just never stopping from my mum. She's someone who inspires me a lot, and she's like my biggest cheerleader out of anyone in the world. So and my mum's also creative. Like, she used to act when she was younger. She used to dance and do gymnastics and stuff. So any single time I do something, she's basically seeing me live her dream type of thing. So like, that's why she's always like pushing me, like, even when like views are maybe not where they want to be, or maybe I don't get the brand I want to get, she just keeps pushing me, and she still has that, and that mindset that she's distilled in me has been what I've had since the very beginning, from YouTube till now.
When it came to blowing up and things starting to like go crazy, right? I can imagine there's like some sort of a shift happening around you, and I want to like double down on that shift on like a lot of different levels. So just like follow me. So more so socially, what did that start to do as you started to see yourself like climb? What did that start to do to you socially? Because I'm thinking about, the young boy who isn't enjoying his experience in secondary school, getting bullied. And then you have the young man who is now in college, kind of finding his feet, but still not really doing exactly what he wants to do, quote unquote. But then you have like this moment. So I'm thinking, I can imagine where things can look a little bit different to what they were previously looking like when things started to shake a bit more.
I think after being in the industry myself and experiencing it like full hand of like having the followers, having the engagement, all the notifications going off, I think I was at a point where I was like, okay, cool. Maybe this isn't exactly as it seems, but it's something that I still need to work on. So, for example, when I saw someone who maybe had like 6 million followers, automatically I assumed they had about like 6 houses. But it's like, it doesn't always like, translate, that way. You know what I mean? Because they make it look, when I see #ad, I'm thinking you're getting paid back. But obviously that's not always as it is, I know some creators who post ads and they're not getting paid a penny, but it's just because they're promoting an item on their page, whether it's for commission or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the time as well, I started to realize that, because I always thought highly of myself, I knew, okay, cool. I can't just be going anywhere anyhow. Sometimes I might go down the road and go to Iceland quickly. I can't actually have to put socks on. Like, we don't know who's watching. Like, little things like that. Like, and my mum was like, Ehiz, like, you are a celebrity. You can't be looking anyhow. I was like, okay, I know. Mum was like, do not do that again. You know what I mean? Even if you don't have, even if you don't cut your hair, put a do-rag on, just do something, because you don't know who's watching. You know what I mean? So I think it's fun at the same time, but I think at the same time also it kind of like puts me in check to be like, okay, Ehiz,
take this seriously.
Yeah, you know that you want to be known for excellence, so keep it at that standard. So even though it's like, I'll sometimes laugh and joke about it at home, but no, it's the reality of things. Like, even if I was to take the bus one day and it's like 3 o'clock, it's going to be a stampede. School kids are everywhere around the area, so it's like you have to understand that even in terms of how you like present yourself, all these things like do count and they do matter. Yeah.
Did you find that there was also a shift? Because I your family supportive, love you down, your mum, ride or die. What was the shift like when it came to friendships?
So I think I've actually been quite blessed in the sense that I haven't had to worry too much about like leaving people behind and things. I think it's because when I was in school, didn't really have any friends. College, I had a few, but we just drifted apart naturally. Some people have kids, some people like are no longer even on social media anymore. So naturally, it just drifted
makes
away.
A move, yeah.
So it's not like I had like so much that I needed to bring along with me, because I know sometimes that can be quite a struggle in terms of that transition for people in my situation. I think, I was on everyone's FYP. So when it came to me going to events after the pandemic, like everyone was like, oh my gosh, Ehiz, how are you? Oh my gosh,
like other creators.
Other creators, even getting on the bus, and like it was, and I loved it because I was like, I'm literally living my dreams, like I'm in a movie. This is what I always wanted. But I think when it comes to friends, I definitely had like a close knit group of friends at one point. And then I think due to, you growing and you outgrowing certain spaces and outgrowing certain mindsets, people don't necessarily like gel with you well in that sense. And I have to ask myself, is it me? But it's like, no, when you're growing and when you're getting older, when you're evolving, when you're growing in whatever field you're in, there's going to be times where you have to literally let like old skin shed.
Yeah.
And it was hard at some point because I knew what it was like not having friends. So coming to a place where I thought I had my safe space, my support group, to now people are being like, shady or nasty or, arrogant or gatekeeping and stuff like that. It was quite difficult to try and navigate because it was something I wasn't necessarily used to. And even my mum said that he's also, even though like you have the friends that you have now, be careful because you don't know tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'll be like, yeah, I understand that. But my mum's like, no, you don't know tomorrow. This industry, I'm not in it, but we can all see what this industry is like. People always talk about fake people all the time.
Yeah.
So I think it was something that I really had to sit in silence and ask God how to like help me and help me with that shift in terms of me still keeping my integrity as an individual and sticking to my morals, but at the same time also understanding that some people have to go, but there's no bad blood.
So let's I want you to just like mentally like make note of like everything you just said there, because I'm going to come back to it and I'm going to weave it into another part. I'm just still on the just talking about like the shift, right? Because I think there's two shifts. There's the first shift that happens in your life where you found your first spike where people are now seeing you. You've grown extremely quickly, overnight more so, and people you're known now, and immediately it's like this young Ehiz is finally living his dream. Amazing. That's the first shift. It's going well. You're flying high. You're making money. You're starting to live your dream life. I even remember there was a period where you like moved to America.
2023.
I remember. Oh God, I remember one video and I was thinking, like, but I'm gonna come back to that. So you're flying high essentially is the point I'm trying to make, right? But then there's another shift that happened. I want to say it wasn't really too long after. I think it was maybe about 2 years where it kind of seemed like everything you had was kind of being like taken away from you. So I want to break that down. I feel like a lot of time has passed. It's been what, like 3 years now?
Yeah, around that time.
Is it 4 years?
I think
4 years, I think.
4 years,
yeah. It's been about 4 years now. And I feel like for me, there's not really been a moment where you've really broken down what happened, and also really for yourself, but also even for the audience, like really giving yourself almost like an outside perspective on like how things played out and like the role you played, and you know what I mean? So walk me through it. So I don't remember the ins and outs because at that point I still was, I don't really like TikTok like that. So I wasn't really like, But I do remember there was, I don't know if you posted like a duet video and it went viral and people weren't happy with it. Just give me like a light, let's get an anchor in on that. And then.
So I'm known very well for my duet videos where I like react to different videos on TikTok. People will send me, they'll at me in the comments of a video and they will tell me to react to them or like do something that I'm known for, which is like my comedic animated faces. And there was this video that was on TikTok of these two ladies. I think they were South Asian. I think they were, and they were singing in their native language, in their mother tongue. And I did the duet to the video and I was basically singing the lyrics alongside with them. But what I do sometimes to like enhance the facial expressions, I sometimes film in times two. So like when it comes to like my eye movements and all that, it makes it look very animated, very cartoony. And basically people didn't receive it well. And I wasn't in agreement with them because this is something that I've done so long. People know me for this anyway. So I was like, what is it about this video that is so different that now everyone is now saying, oh, you're being disrespectful to someone's culture and things like that. And I will say that there's definitely been a shift on social media in terms of what people see as disrespectful and not.
As in what, back then, or you saying now?
Back then till now.
Yeah.
As in like, it's not as strong as it used to be.
Yeah.
People still have their morals, people still have what they believe in. But I feel like back then, TikTok has been so heightened that you have to be extra careful.
Yeah.
I was even singing a song by Olamide called Loading, and the lyrics say, I can't feel my face no more, I can't feel my legs no more. And someone said to me in the comments, are you trying to be discriminative towards the people who have no limbs? It's like you can't do anything there. So it was very, very difficult. And it's like, me as a comedy creator, it's like, I want to be true to myself, but how can I now be true to myself and show that side of me that make people laugh without being policed every single time? So I think that's why people also didn't like that, because they didn't see me be apologetic in the very beginning.
Yeah, I think that was the for me, like from what I remember back then, that was what felt like actually caused the shift more than the actual thing that was, do you know what I mean? More than the actual thing
yeah,
that was done, where people almost expected a different reaction from you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen like your reaction video. Have you seen it like recently?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on your reaction video back then?
You know what? I'm looking back, like personally for me, as Ehiz, right now, I know that I've matured a lot, and I know that there was class. I speak to my mum about like these things all the time, and my mum was saying, and I'm in agreement with her. She said, "You have to understand that you may have not found it offensive, but someone out there may have," and I understand that. And I didn't really understand back then, and I think because I was so caught up with the idea that everyone knows me for this. So what makes this time round different? And I also was quite upset and frustrated because I felt like there's different types of people during the situation where someone's trying to cancel an influencer. People who actually are genuinely upset, people who just want to add fuel to the fire, and also people who spread misinformation. Those ladies were not Muslim. They're Hindu or they're Buddhist. Or they're nothing. They had nothing to do with Islam. I have never in my life ever like come on social media to insult anyone's culture or religion in that aspect. Never ever done that. People who know me on social media and off social media know that I will never ever cross that boundary ever. I know that me being a black man in general is seen as a minority. It's seen as a problem in society. So why would I then want to then do something like that to somebody else just because I may not be Asian or I may not be Muslim? It makes no sense. I have a large audience of followers who are Muslim, and they respect me and I love them so much. So for me to then do that, and
intentionally,
it will look very, very silly and weird. I had a lot of messages from people DMing me saying that they themselves are Muslim and they never saw anything wrong with the video. And I also have to be very careful how I respond to some of these messages because I don't know who's behind them. If they might want to have some sort of calculated idea to like try and frame me as doing something wrong, whatever the case may be. So I think looking back now, I've realized that, you know what, at the end of the day, even if I didn't feel like I was wrong, I understand that I do have a platform, and in some type of way, it could offend some people, and I have to accept that that is the case. I've now learned that in terms of doing videos around certain cultures and demographics, I don't even touch that because I know what I've been through. I know what I've caused to some people, and I don't want that to even have any sort of effects in the future or effects in my career. So I think it's also important. I've learned that it's also important to know that it's not every single time that there's a video that is out there that you have to respond. You have to create a video or content around it. It's not that necessary. There's many other videos that I can do that doesn't actually have to have anything to do with, that topic or that genre, you know?
No, I feel you. I think I remember watching the interview that you did back then, and obviously I didn't know you at all at that phase of just someone. I just knew you as a creator, right? And I remember from my standpoint, I was like, oh, he just hasn't grasped like what's going on. Yeah, it kind of came across. I don't know what
one-sided.
word. No, not even one-sided. Like more so, like because the thing is, like I completely get the sentiment that like you don't do things intentionally. Like you're not out here like, oh let me, let me da. But I think, like we were saying before, that the shift more so occurred like off the back of like your response, because the response came across. I think even in this interview, and I know that you've watched it back too, a little bit like prideful, like very like ego, like I'm the bad boy here, like he's, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I remember watching, I'm thinking he hasn't like grasped like what's going on here. Yeah. So I wonder when the switch for you like happened, where you were like, oh wait, this isn't just backlash, this is a bit deeper.
Yeah. I think when you are at a certain pedestal or level in your career, regardless if you're arrogant or not, people do not want you to go up there. So I think for me, my reaction, which necessarily wasn't the best reaction, I think that's what people said, okay, cool, I want to now grab that now and use that against him. And I was watching a lot of videos in terms of like people's responses to it, and it was mixed. And a lot of them were saying that he shouldn't have responded that way. He should have just said sorry. Well, for me, it took me a long time for me to understand why I needed to say sorry. Not necessarily because I wanted to make the people who are sending hate and whatever it is feel good about themselves, but just know that, even though I am on social media and I may not have a manager or whatever, I am still a brand.
Did you say even if you are?
Even if I didn't have a manager, or like a team or whatever it is, I'm still a brand. And I am a brand to brands. I'm a brand to supporters. I'm a brand on social media. It's a household name. So I need to make sure that even if I may not necessarily agree, it doesn't hurt just to deal in the issue. You know what I mean? And I felt like, in terms of my response, it could have been better. But I've learned a lot and I've matured a lot. And I'm just happy not to be the person I was back then.
No, honestly. I still want to talk a little bit more about the person you were back then, and then in comparison to like the person you are now. But I just remembered, I don't remember if that at that point, like there was like a change in your management team as well.
Yes,
because was it because of that?
I won't necessarily say it was, because I actually spoke to the CEO of the company.
Of your management company?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
They said actually wasn't actually it didn't actually have anything to do with that. But the manager had at the time, they basically were not doing their job, and they were looking for excuses as to why I wasn't getting opportunities. Because when I actually did some research and did some digging after they actually got sacked from the company, there were so many emails that they did not respond to, just genuinely on the sole purpose of just them not doing their job. It actually had nothing to do with what was on social media. So I was made to feel like I was this nasty villain who nobody wanted to work with, that I was like blacklisted or whatever the case was, when that wasn't the case. And I actually reached out to some of them, the agencies, and they said, Ehiz, we love you so much. We're so sorry that, it didn't work out this time. Your manager was quite rude to us. And I think that's why a lot of brands, it leaves a lot of a bad taste in a lot of brands' mouths, because even though US talent may be great, if you're associated with someone who's disrespectful and rude, it's going to backfire in terms of communication. So it was basically me working from the ground up again, which was quite devastating, because I built this platform so much. And I think shortly after that, my TikTok actually got taken down for like 24 hours. Yeah. I was in LA at the time. It got taken down for like 24 hours. And a lot of people were messaging me on Instagram saying how they even want to delete the app because I'm not on there anymore. So it gave me hope that, okay, cool, maybe my manager's in my ear like this, but people on social media also still do want me back.
What was your manager in your ear saying? That
just condemning me, just telling me that you're a nasty human being. Yeah,
because of the
video. Yeah, and when I spoke to the actual CEO of the company, she said she's very sorry that should not have happened. That she didn't understand why I didn't speak to her, but what the problem was, he made it seem like he was speaking on their behalf, saying, "Oh, I'm handling this.
Team think that
nobody wants to speak to you." They even made a lie and actually said that because I remembered it very vividly.
Does he hate you? Damn, that's
I don't honestly. When I say, and the thing is, it's crazy because I've spoken to other people in the industry and they have had similar stories. He's not a nice person.
Oh, this same particular person.
Yeah, they're not a nice person at all. And I actually met them once because I actually saw them on a brand trip type situation. When they got sacked, they didn't tell me they were leaving. So I was told that I was still had the idea that I was still my manager and I was just going to get contacted when I get another opportunity. And I saw them at the box because I went to see Renaissance with Coach, and I saw them at the box and they were very like shook. They didn't know what to say. So they were trying, any time they saw me come through, they were like trying to avoid and like cut corners. Funny story, the person was actually, the manager was actually 19.
Oh, at the time?
Yeah. And it's crazy because I didn't know. Because they carry themselves so highly to make them look like they were an adult. And they looked older.
To not know your manager's age, though, that sounds wild.
I know what you mean. And it sounds silly.
But to be fair, you were also young as well.
Yeah.
So.
But you know what it is? I think because, and there was a lot of lying, They were told that they got a share of the company. They didn't get no share of the company. They were also an influencer.
So it was just a young person. So it wasn't, okay, so, that changes.
And I think because they come from like money and because of the family they come from and stuff like that, they, without actually getting to know who they were, genuinely, when you see that person, you would think they are almost in their late 20s. So I thought that they were experiencing what they're doing until one day I was on Instagram and I saw that someone reposted in the office that there was, they brought a cake to happy birthday and it said 19 on the, I'm like, excuse me? I was so lost. I was so lost. But you know what? I think everything's a lesson. And even though I dread that I went through that experience, I now know that if I'm looking for a manager, I will look for what that was.
I mean, definitely not a 19-year-old.
Yeah, definitely not a 19-year-old. So,
probably not that.
Yeah. So I've learned a lot along the way. So yeah, which I think is a blessing, not even in disguise, out there.
No, it was a huge blessing. I think we're going to talk about it more, but I think that whole shift was definitely a huge blessing for you.
100%, yeah.
I think I picked up on that more so in your most recent, the video that you posted recently.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't post it, the live that someone posted.
Yeah.
And I wanna talk about that. I feel like there needs to be some light shed on that. So you were really, really vulnerable about you not getting like brand deals and, working with the type of brands, etc., that you kind of saw yourself or think you should be working with at this stage in your career, right? So walk me through that. I think it's such a, firstly, accolades to you for being that vulnerable on the internet because, whoa, you don't get a lot of creators
Yeah.
like talking about those type of topics so openly. So walk me through what even led you to, make that comment firstly.
I think for me, I'm hardly ever vulnerable online, and I have to do that to protect my own sanity and peace of mind, because the internet can be really dark. But I think when I'm on live, sometimes it's an opportunity for me to really like break that fourth wall with my audience.
Yeah.
And people always say you need to show that version of you more on your posts.
Yeah.
I think the reason why I don't do that is because more time I do things more from a marketing perspective to say how I can perceive myself to brands, as opposed to just being like unfiltered.
Just being, yeah.
Yeah. So I sometimes see my life as like my private story. But I'm also just being extra mindful as well. But just in terms of not necessarily anything that will be said bad, but just keeping that momentum of the excellence that I've always, told myself I wanted to want to be. Someone asked me a question. I think they said yes. They asked me, would you ever be on Inside, like the
show?
Yeah, the show. I said I would love to do Inside, or for Asylum Locked In. I said I would love to do that, or Big Brother. I said I would love to do that kind of stuff. Like I'm TV Gold.
Give it to me.
Do you know what I mean? Like I'm TV Gold. Do you know what I mean? So I said that I would love to do that, but and then they also added and said, okay, so why aren't you on those shows? I said, I don't know. Ask the execs. I don't know. I'm here. You know what I mean? They comment on my videos all the time. You know what I mean? So I'm like, there is budget. Like, just like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, they know who I am. And it's like, it used to get frustrating, because I'm always told, okay, just do this content now, and then with the hopes that you will get an opportunity. But I'm like, okay, I get it. But like, I'm actually trying my best right now. And now I kind of feel like it's being thrown in my face, because I'm trying to do as much as I can to show myself that I'm, brandable, but it's not receiving. It's not being received well. So I spoke out loud, I just said, I don't understand why I'm not, doing these things. I've been trying my possible best to do it, and it's not coming into fruition. But I did say that the reason why I also find myself not doing these things is because I realized that I don't see myself as an influencer. I see myself as an entertainer. So in terms of me doing, come with me to this restaurant, no one cares if I go to a restaurant. They want to come to laugh. They want to come to be entertained. They want to be inspired. I think, especially when I started doing my talking videos and my motivational talks, that is what people now are really enjoying. So I wanted to find a way how I can also break that fourth wall with my audience without showing too much of my life. And it is possible. And it showed as of recent, like a lot of videos that I now do where I do like my devotional, when I speak about like, how I've gone through things in my life, and the response I'm getting is what I've been looking for. And I think I found that right now. So I think
it's almost like, sorry to cut you off. It sounds like it's almost, before you were talking about, wanting to be excellent.
Yeah.
It's like the excellence was almost stopping you from being able to actually just like be and exist and allow people to actually see you.
Yeah, 100%. I think the vulnerability aspects of things came from me just expressing how I've been doing this for, this year marks 14 years doing this job.
Shut up.
Yeah, 14.
No way.
So when and I get frustrated when people are talking to me and telling me things like they know what's happening behind the scenes.
Wow.
You don't know what I mean?
Can you really say 14 though?
Yeah, 2011.
No, but okay, so you're doing YouTube, just to even give yourself peace of mind, because I'm like, if you're doing YouTube at a point where it wasn't like your full-time thing.
No, but I treat it like a full-time thing.
Okay, so in terms of the feeling and the weight and the things that you put to
and the effort I was putting into it,
it felt like
I was actually posting
I get you.
YouTube videos. I was posting like twice a week, whilst in school, like education, studying for GCSEs, doing that, and then also 2021, I was also still at uni, but I was doing that online because of the pandemic. So I was also trying to still make a living off TikTok, but also still post at the same time and still also send my dissertation. So it was so much like workload and like labor that I felt like I was doing, and it just was not really just like receiving. And yeah, I think, it was, that's why I think the load just felt so much. And I just thought, let me just like explain and just let it out. Like people just think, because I've got a blue tick next to my name, that is everyday gum drops and lollipops, just driving like, Luxes and like Range Rovers. It's not exactly like that, I happily still use TFL. So,
I mean, we all do. Why not?
Do you know what I mean? Why not? Do you know what I mean? But I think there's this idea where I remember I was on the train once where somebody said to me, why are you on the train? I'm like, because it's public transport. And I was like, no, but obviously like, you got all these followers. I'm like, but that was very narrow-minded for them to think like that. You know what I mean? I take the train to go to a premiere. It's much more efficient. It's quicker. It's easier. So I think it's also because like I've put myself on such a high pedestal. I want to keep up to that excellence. And I think because I've seen it through like my peers. And
what do you mean? As in like you've seen them
like elevate and do well. Yeah. It's like, what about me? And I think I used to get really frustrated when I'll be at an event and I'll see the PR or the agencies and I'll say, hi, how are you? Introduce myself, make myself known. and I'll hear that, oh, we love you, we'd love to work with you. And then I just never hear anything back. And it's like, okay, so you just lied to me now. You know what I mean? Well, obviously, and one thing I've learned a lot of the time is like, I've learned a lot, and I'm very much aware of this now, is to not take it personal. Like, yeah, do not take it personal. Like, there'll be many opportunities that I would really, really love to do, and I haven't got them yet. But when the time is right, it will come.
Exactly.
You know?
And I think also just even on the, just even quickly, just to go back actually, when you were talking about like seeing other people like elevating and, you know, doing this, because at the time that you started, it felt like there was like a group of you guys. Really, like there was all kind of doing very similar content, very new. I remember that was like the TikTok gang, you know, and like you said, you know, you're seeing people around you who are kind of like your friends, your peers, like in the industry, like elevating and stuff, and then you kind of see your trajectory almost going in like a little bit of a different direction. What was that like for you? Accepting, because I think you can get to a point where you accept and you're like, you know what, like I actually can't come and kill myself, like it's okay. But the process to even get into that level of acceptance, I feel like that would have been a journey on its own. So what was that like?
Because even though I did have like, you know, a close-knit group of friends at the time, I think one thing that was quite different was not only just the following and the how large my platform was, but also the demographic. So in terms of like my audience is very broad. So I have Saudi Arabia, Brazil, US, which is a big, I got US, quite a huge US audience, UK as well, Nigeria, South Africa. So it's quite broad. So when it comes to like transitioning and like working towards like something greater, and they would basically do like brand deals and sponsorships, it would never always fit and be in alignment, because a lot of time brands will be like, can I see your analytics? Can I see like what you guys have, like what's going on? And because of a lot of time, it kind of felt like I was in the group, but I wasn't in the group. So when there's opportunities where like we would do things together brand wise, before I even get like take part, which didn't always happen, it was always like, why am I singled out? Like, what is it about me? Why are these brands like, do they not like me? And it's like, so yeah, it was quite difficult sometimes, because I think they were so small compared to me. It kind of felt like, oh, he's doing his own thing, so let's just keep these. Oh,
as in like audience wise, they were.
No, as in like from the brand side of things.
Oh, okay.
Because when it comes to like doing work and content together, a lot of the time, if it was not brand, if it wasn't paid, then it would be something that we would do together. And the thing is, it wasn't the followers who made me feel like that, because they loved it when we were all together. But I think it was when it came to working with the brands and stuff, I kind of felt like, it just wasn't the same. Or I remember I went to Coachella in 2022, and I was one of the only like UK POC creators who actually went at the time. So it kind of felt like, I think during that moment as well, it kind of felt like, okay, maybe I love you guys where you are, but maybe I'll see you guys when I see you, type of thing. So in some type of way, there were moments where like I would just drift, but it wasn't intentional. It was just where like work was just leading me to. So even when I was in America 2023, and I was there for a whole year.
You were in America for a whole year?
Yeah, I didn't come with anyone from the UK, or I didn't have anyone who came to visit me. So I was very isolated. Yeah, so it was really hard making those type of like friendships and stuff, because when you have a demographic which is so wide and so large, and you have friends in all parts of the world, it's very hard to try to find a place that you call home, you know? Yeah.
Well, did you go to America with the aim, because you know you're talking about, oh, you have an audience here, you have an audience there.
Yeah.
Was going to America almost like you pursuing like where your actual community is?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I think also because I was seeing it more from the money making perspective of my career. Because I would speak to producers in the UK, and I would say, because I've been writing since 2017 now, like I write a lot, like in terms of like plays and stuff and things that I see myself doing on screen. And I would speak to people like, you know, the BBC or ITV, and they were like, we love people, we just don't have the budget. We don't have the budget. And even TikTok, we just don't have the budget. And it's like, I just didn't feel like they cared enough. But when I went to the US and I spoke to execs and I spoke to people who worked for agencies, they were so down. Even if they didn't go anywhere, they were so happy to sit down and actually have a coffee and let's talk, let's make it work. So I kind of felt like people actually cared and actually wanted to see me thrive. Whereas opposed to the UK, it was like when I spoke about my dreams and aspirations of wanting to be an actor and break into Hollywood, it was like, you're doing too much. And it was like, and I kind of even noticed that sometimes with my friends as well. And I thought, okay, maybe if it's not here I'm meant to be, then I kind of felt like gradually people kind of saw me in general as like, oh, you're too big for us now, so we're not going to bother putting too much effort. Which I kind of felt hurt, because I have never felt that way around any of my friends or just like in my community. I know in general, when you grow and you evolve, naturally, you will get bigger if that's where God's taking you. But the fact that it was received in the way to make it look like, oh, he's doing his own thing, so he's all right. And I think it's also because I was going to America at the time a lot. So physically, because I physically wasn't there all the time, and gradually, like, relationships started to drift. Naturally, it was just that thing of, oh yeah, he's just doing his thing. Oh, sometimes when I come to a premiere in the UK, they're like, oh, what are you doing here? You're always in America, like. And I was like, come on. But I just play along with it because I'm like, this is what life is like now. So
what made you come back to London?
So in 2023, my contract ended, so it finished, and I have an O1 visa, so I can still work there now if I wanted to. But at the time, I had no management, and I made that decision because I wanted to look for a manager who actually cared, because I've been through situations where I've had managers where, like, they would love my work, but they would not be on job in terms of answering emails on time or actually putting a content strategy together to put forward to, like, and pitch to, like, BBC or something. It was always me doing the work, and it was like, what's the point of you really having you around if you're not really doing what you're meant to do? And I'm very, like, on job with my work, and I'm very hands-on. That's why sometimes when it comes to speaking to a network or a manager, I'm like always a bit apprehensive sometimes because
you're like, I know, I know what I'm doing.
I want to see the inbox. I want to see the inbox. Like, who are you speaking to? Because it's like, I've dealt with people wasting time a lot, and I kind of felt like I've wasted a lot of time sitting there with the hopes that, oh, you're going to speak to somebody, and then realize you're actually not pulling your weight. So I just came back to London at that time. And I think also because I didn't actually have a stable home in America. I was just, like, living in a place that was funded. And then I came back where my family is, really. To be fair, I actually really came back for my family, to be fair, because that's just who I just basically had as, like, my support system. But I definitely did keep some contacts, and I did say hopefully when I do make that transition, which I would like to still, that's where I'll be, because I feel like when I'm there, there's something in the energy and the frequency about the air. People want to work. People are willing to actually, and it's not even a matter of gatekeeping or being fake. It's like, okay, cool. You have the followers, you have the platform, you have the talent. I've got the contacts. Let's collab. Let's work together. If we stay, fine. If not, fine. But we've made great work, you know. And I think that's the issue that I kind of found in the UK. I didn't find people who were willing to make that sacrifice and actually, like, do something. Okay, you're talented. Okay, cool. You have talent. I've seen people who have talent so much, but they don't want to take the plunge because they're too scared. It's like, be bold. And I've never felt to hold back when I'm in America. People are willing to, put, their hands down and get work done. Yeah.
No, I definitely feel you. I think when I went to Miami, also kind of feeling that same sentiment. I was like, that was not my first time in America, but that was the first city in America that I went to that I was like, oh my gosh, I really there's like a difference in momentum and, like, energy.
Everyone wants to work, everyone wants to
Yeah.
grind, and it's like people are too scared. And I mean, I do sympathize a lot with, like, other creators who are, like, quite small, because they sometimes feel like, there's so many people doing the same thing. I'm like, you can make yours different. Take me for an example. I had a channel on social media who only had about, like, less than 100 subscribers, but I still pushed. I still did it anyway. Whatever people want to think, that's up to them. Your friends are not you're not your target audience.
Yeah.
It's the people out there that you don't know who are waiting to cheer you on. So I just encourage anyone who's who feels like they're in this community or in a city where they feel like it's too small for them or they've outgrown. It has nothing to do with pride. It is God telling you that you can go and do something else somewhere. And if your environment or your village is not serving you, it is somewhere else.
I remember when I watched that initial video, that initial live, and I called when I saw the video on TikTok, and I was like, it kind of gave me almost like a full 360 perspective or 180 perspective on, like, what's actually, like, taking place in your journey. We lightly touched on it on the phone call, but I want to, like, talk about it a little bit more, because I feel like similarly to you, I think it can be, I think that you can be someone who is intentionally taken out of an industry in order for you to be molded, right? Because earlier we were talking about you were kind of thrust into the industry. You blew up overnight. Obviously, I know you were still like doing your thing, like on YouTube and stuff. But it kind of was like overnight, right? So it's like you're thinking, when you look at this person, it's like, what was his character saying like in this time, and like, who is he becoming? With now, like, where you're at, and almost having, like, this POV perspective on where things went and where things are at now. Do you see why you needed to be pulled back?
Oh yeah. Honestly, I think one thing is I think in the moment where you're in despair and you feel like the whole world's crashing onto you, I think because I'm a Christian and I love the Lord so much, and He's the center of my life in every way, in every shape or form, in everything I do. And the reason why I have the platform that I have is a gift was given to me. It wasn't just by coincidence. And even though I did work hard, I do believe that it was because of him. He gave me the talent. It wasn't from anyone else. And I think I've always been ambitious since I was young. And back then, 2022 and 2021, I was very ambitious then. But I think my ambitions kind of oversaturated and went over my purpose, if that makes sense, in the sense that I wanted to do all these things, camera, paparazzi, sign here, great. And I still want that. Like, no
but from a different lens.
From a different lens, you know. Now, like, even though I want to be seen, I don't necessarily care to be seen unless it's necessary. In the sense that if I'm going to be seen in public or I'm going to be seen like globally, I want there to be an actual purpose for that. Why am I being seen? Am I doing a talk at Harvard? What for? Because I went through bullying and I'm able to identify what I went through to help me be the person I am today. What can I do to help other people? You know, I was at Carnival last year for the first time. I did an activation with Sky and a lady came up to me as I was doing like interviews with people in public, and she said, my daughter watches your videos and because of you, you have helped her cure her depression. And when I think about that, that makes it, I was tearing up at the time, but it really it just showed to show me that this whole job and this whole like life that I live is not for me. It's to help other people. And back then, even though I love social media and I love making people laugh, but what is it about making people laugh that gives you that thrill, you know? Because I know what it's like to go through thick situations. I know what it's like to be bullied. I know what it's like to be left out. I know what it's like when your friends tell you to come to the cinema on their birthday and they deliberately give you the address to another cinema so you don't turn up. I know what it's like to be left out, you know? So because I've been through a lot in my life, how can I help somebody else and give them hope for tomorrow? And I think I've been humbled a lot. My pride has gone down a lot. And
I can sense it in you.
And I think for me, I'm now at a point where like, I'm now ready for the next season of my life where God wants to take me. And I'm doing that with caution. I'm doing that with purpose and also with thinking. Because I think once one is so excited, you know, your dopamine levels go up. You go all over the place. Yes, Hollywood lights. Yeah, camera action. But beneath that, what's the mental health saying? How do you feel? Like, what's your character saying? Your integrity. How do people perceive you? You know, has money changed you for the worse? You know, the different things like that. And I think within this time period, me not having brand deals and things like that, God's still been faithful. He still sustained me. I'm still able to go to the gym. I'm still able to eat food and put food on the table. You know, and it may have not been the greatest times because I've been through a lot of rough patches the past few years. But I think within that, I've learned that let's leave you for a terminal 5 for now. Take a bus, go to the gym and humble yourself, you know what I mean? And enjoy, you know what I mean? And it's
like be here.
Yeah. And now I know that when it's time for me to go and fly out again, it will feel like a reward.
Exactly.
It wouldn't feel like, just what we do. No, humble yourself. Because what God can give you, He can snatch it right back. But when He gives it to you now, He can trust you with it now. God can now trust me with money now. Where I put and sow my money into, it makes sense. I'm not just buying things just because of the sake of buying it, you know? And yeah, I feel like now I'm also proud of myself a lot. I feel like I've learned so much about myself that I didn't see myself learning years ago. And a testament of that is just how I'm able to communicate with people. I'm not as hot-headed. I don't feel like I have to speak all the time. Sometimes, even I remember one time I was in Fashion Week, and a lot of people, again, they see me as, oh yeah, you're this funny, bubbly guy, Ehiz, it's not every single time that you're in a circle where you have to talk. Just smile.
Be the main.
Just smile. Just smile. If they don't like you, then that's fine. But don't make it a thing where, because people know you as this person, you have to always show off and show out. No. Those who love you. If they don't, they don't. And I think also one thing I'm learning as well is that like God's given me this gift that He's instilled in me. And it's something that I don't take lightly. And, you know, my humor and my spirit will linger and it will go to the right people. And if they don't want to stick around, that's fine. But my purpose and my reasoning for being on social media is to show people God's glory and it's not my own.
And it's funny because you would have never gotten to that point if you didn't have it all stripped away from you. It's so funny. I said this to you like on the call because I saw a lot of like similarities in our journey where I know like God intentionally took me the heck out of the industry to kind of allow me to like get a bird's eye perspective. Like, hey, see yourself. Like your character's dwindling. Like you think you're so nice, but no.
It's true.
Your ego, hello, like check yourself for a minute, you know what I mean? And I think now like being thrusted, still gently, being like taken back into the industry. I feel like now your gratitude level, your ability to, like, even the smallest of brand deals, you get that 10K budget. You'll be like, hello, thank you so much.
I just wanted to even say today, I worked with Nando's today. It was my first partnership of the year. Wow. And I'm so grateful for that. Thank you. Because I was like, it's been so long. And, you know, one thing is, the thing is with Nando's, I've had a relationship with them for a long time. I used to work for them anyway. So it's like a whole full circle moment. Yeah. And today, even when I got there today, I just feel so much gratitude because they literally put barricades up, said, filming today, no one can come in. I was like, yes, let me come in and let me do my thing. You know what I mean? I was happy because I was like, this is what I always wanted. And God has trusted me now to be in these spaces again, you know? So now, even if an opportunity doesn't come my way, God, thank you. You're going to bring something else because I know what you think of me. And I know that you know that I'm mature now. So now we can do this thing properly with caution. Yeah. So that's where, like, anything I do get now, I'm very gracious and I'm very, very happy with it.
Like the way you treat it is a lot more delicate. Like it's like, this isn't about me. That this is favor.
Yeah, literally, it's favor.
And also a reward for you being like, you know, and I'm sure, because I know I definitely, like, in my journey, definitely had moments where I'm like, oh God, like, this is, you know, you're seeing people do this, you're seeing people do that, and you're like, when is it my turn? But you don't allow that feeling to be the thing that ultimately leads, like, the way you move, or the things that you do when 100%. You don't do, you know. So
I think also because, like, when you think like that, it overwhelms your brain.
Oh,
so much.
Yeah.
Literally, there was a brand trip that happened in December last year, and for this brand, and a lot of creators went, and I was so upset because I really wanted to go because I've been showing my loyalty to this brand. And one of my friends who's in America posted a video of her going to the brand trip, and she had to go home early because the whole stage collapsed on all of them. So I'm now upset and whining why I didn't go, but God could have been saving me from going there. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean that those people aren't important to God, no, but there's a reason why God doesn't allow certain things to happen. God sees the danger before we even get there. So I think sometimes it's important to understand and know that if we really truly want God's will for our life, we should understand that some certain opportunities, not because they're bad, but God has something more, how he can develop my character and show me myself more in that. You know what I mean? And looking back, I don't know how I could even have been more creative in that aspect. But God might want me to be creative in another way. You know what I mean? I remember I did a brand partnership with Benefit Cosmetics last year for the new skincare range. And they said, Ehiz, they give you full creative freedom. If you want to set up a studio, do that. And I loved how they made me do it to the best of my ability. And I always look back at the video because I'm like, they fully allow me to show my creative skills. And it works well. You know what I mean? So I always, any single time I do get an opportunity, it just makes sense. So I should just rest.
Like, the next thing I was going to say to you is, like, it sounds like the deepest level of understanding, like, what true surrender looks like and what happens when you truly just, like, you truly let it go. And it's insane. Well, not insane, but it's interesting because a lot of the time I think, you know, with this industry, with it being, like, so fast and, you know, you think you want this now, or you think you have a full clarity on where it is you want to get to and how it is that you want to get there. We almost lose sight of, like, what it actually, like, the character that it takes in order for you to sustain, like, where it is that you want to get to. And it's taken you, how many years? What, like 4 years? It's taken like 4 years of refinement, and it's not stopping. Like, it's definitely not slowing down. But even for you to get to this point where you're a bit like, okay, first brand deal of the year. Thank you, Lord. Like, you know, this is amazing. Like, I'm so grateful. But it's taken 4 years in order for you to become someone who's more centered, someone whose ego isn't, oh, I've got 12 million followers. Because I'm not going to lie, like, in those videos, in, you know what interview I'm talking about, that is exactly what it was given. That just this sense of, but, you know, I've got all of this and I'm this person. It's like, that's not the way, that's not who you're supposed to be.
100%. I think looking back, when I watched that video, I'm like, I actually asked to be on that show, and I'm like, no, I have something to say. Let me speak my piece.
I said, please, sir.
And in my head, I'm like, hey, you should have just waited. There was no need for you to say anything. Like, if you're misunderstood, you're misunderstood. But at the end of the day, like, God is so merciful. Like, you may be misunderstood, you may be hated for whatever reason, but when God refines you, he will shut down those people who had anything bad to say about you.
They will see you.
They will see you. Do you know what I mean? And they will see how you've grown. You know what I mean? And I've seen it in the comments of, like, in my videos. People say to me, Ehiz, I've just seen how you've grown. I've seen how, you know, yes, obviously you're outspoken, you do what you want to do, but that's not stopping, obviously, you and your character of you being a good person. And, you know, and I'm happy that it's being reflected that way, because the thing is, even though my family at home, they will tell me the truth and they don't lie to me, because I say, listen, be honest. give me the raw, honest truth. Because if someone tells me something you don't, I'm going to come to you and police you guys because I was what's going on. And they're honest with me, from my mum all the way down to my younger brother. But the thing is, what I like is that when they are giving me criticism and they're telling me things about my work, they do it from an outside perspective. In the sense that, yes, we're your family, but right now we're not your family. In the sense that we're going to tell you exactly as it is and not to sweet talk you. Because at the end of the day, God forbid, if anything happens, who they're going to point fingers at? You know what I mean? So it's like, you need to understand. I had to like really tell myself that, look, even though sometimes, you know, they may tell me something I don't want to hear, I need to listen because it's all coming from a good place. And it's a testament of that. Like, people are genuinely enjoying me again. And it's so refreshing to see. Like, when I look at my comments, like yesterday, I posted a video about just like a motivational talk on my Instagram. And then I went into my notifications and I saw, you know, when someone mentions you on the story, I'm like, who's mentioning me on the story? Like, who's going to do that? People were reposting that video because they like what I'm talking. I'm talking sense and they like it. And it's like, and I was like, literally, I was like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, that people actually are receiving this well, because like, people really need to hear some type of motivation that will help them through these times, you know? And that was literally the key that I needed in order for me to get that connection. Because I was trying to find what is that connection that I need with my audience. Talk about how you've been through things and how God has helped you through that. And look how, you know what I mean? And I used to ask God, I was like, God, what is it? Is it enough? God's only using me as a vessel. He's doing the rest of the work. His work is powerful. So just allow him to work through you. Don't try and overthink, because as human beings, I hate using the word foolish, but like, in the eyes of God, we don't have the same intellect as him. So we need to understand that, like, if we allow him to work through us, we're a funnel. Allow him to work through us and he will do the work. Because if it was up to me, God forbid, not going to bring 2021 back. So it's like, you know, so I'm grateful. It's all a part of growth, and I give all the grace to God. Honestly, he's been great.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you that you actually allowed this journey to like do exactly what it needed to do for
honestly.
you.
And my mum is what she tells me all the time. She goes, "Ehiz, I'm so proud of you. I've seen how you've grown." I was like, and you know, it is because I hate disappointing my mum. I hate, because my mom's gone through a lot in her life, and my mum said, "You will not make my enemies laugh." You know what I mean? So. And we have that joke all the time. So, you know what I mean? And any single time I get her approval or my siblings' approval, I'm like, okay, I'm doing something right. Thank you. Because like, they want the best for me. And they know I have haters. So they want to make sure that do not give them this time of day. So yeah, I'm very grateful that they see the change. And that's what makes me happy. I know that there has been improvement. So yeah.
And there's only going to be more and more and more and more improvement. And honestly, I always say, like, when your moment comes, when that time comes, when you're ready to receive it,
literally
incredible experience.
Honestly, 2021 was a very ugly time for me, but I'm grateful for it. Because I feel like when God wants to break you, when God wants to uplift you and he wants to promote you, he will break you to a place where you are humbled, to the point where you're literally naked.
On the ground,
literally.
Begging.
On the ground, begging.
Oh my gosh.
So literally at that point, it's literally like dirty laundry all out on the table now. It's like you have no choice but to fix yourself. And even if you don't feel like you're wrong, 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 then just swallow it. It won't hurt you. Because at the end of the day, like, God knows your heart, and God can't be mocked as well. So, you know, if you know the way you act and you know the way you communicate, you can't tell God, your creator, like how you are. He knows you before you even open your mouth. He's like, and the thing is with me, because my conviction is so strong now, if I do something or think of something,
immediately,
I can't even dodge it.
Immediately,
before I even thought the thought, he knew I've thought the thought already. So it's like, now that you know you're at that point where you're so sensitive to the spirit, then know that literally this whole journey is between you and God now. And keep it that way.
And isn't that just so much more peaceful? Like the peace in just knowing that this journey, like for me, I'm like, this journey is not even about nobody. I've got my girl Danette in the room, and literally earlier today, she came in and she was like, oh, I just feel like, she didn't use the word release, but like it felt like fine, like she had hit her point of release. Like I am now free from almost, I don't know, you know, everyone's thing is like different. I think speaking for myself, like my point of release was holding on to wanting to make everything work exactly as I wanted it to, and not really wanted to like align with God's will for me, and really wanted to hold on to the world for as long as I could. But that moment of release and like genuine full surrender, full exposure to yourself, to your character, to your ways, and just walking when it's just you. You and God hand in hand like this, nothing like it.
You know what it is? I think, so the start of the year, I did a fast, and it was the first time, it was New Year's Eve, the crossover to the New Year. And it was the first time that I fully ever, from my heart, I told God, take everything. Take everything. Sometimes I'll be like, yeah, take everything. But I want to see
just a little bit.
Yeah. But so I say take everything because actually at this point, I have this year has proven to me I can't do it by myself.
Yeah.
I can't. Because the thing is, God will heal the hearts of those that you physically can't speak to. God can do many things that are supernatural. And that's why I think what I've learned so much the past few months and weeks is that the way God works is so supernatural. He will change a whole story 360 for your good. And I thought that was the end of it. Like, as in 2021 was the end of it. Not necessarily thinking that like, I can never ever get a brand deal again. No, but it was like, I was just so angry and frustrated. Friends fell out, which was a separate thing to social media. Friends was falling out. I go into America and I was making money in America, but I was not happy. Like, I remembered I had to rush to America because I had to do a brand deal for this brand in America and I didn't have enough time to pack. So literally I booked a flight on a Thursday. And I came back I came back to London on that weekend and I went back the following Monday. I was like, oh yeah, football tour, yeah. But at the same time, deep down, I was like, I'm very stressed. And I was grateful I had the money to do that. But at the same time, it was like, where's my peace at mind? They say, oh, sit back and relax and enjoy your flight. I'm up. Like, literally, I'm up. Yeah, beef chicken? Yeah. I saw it, yeah, but I'm still up. Like, I'm really up. I'm like, even sometimes I'll be in my room, like in America, and I'll be like, I'm just so down. And like sometimes I can't even find out exactly what it is that I'm upset about. And then I post a video. Hi guys, it's not that straightforward. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? But it's like I had to really. And you know what it is? And that's it. It's performative.
Yeah.
And I think now, I in everything I do, I ask God. I ask for his approval. Even if I want to do something and I don't really want to involve him, I ask him. Because he can see that I'm trying and he can see that I'm trying to make him a priority in my life.
Yeah.
So even when anything turns out the way it turns out, I give all the glory to God because he's the person who made it work. If it didn't work, it worked for my good. You know, so I'm just grateful. And I think your character says a lot about you. It really, really does. And for me, I'm so happy that even those around me can notice that.
Yeah.
They notice that. You know, it's not every single time I have to talk. Sometimes just keep quiet, just relax. People come to me for advice now. I'm like, oh, look at me, Oprah Winfrey. What's going on? You know what I mean? And I say that with a humble heart because, like, even when I look at the comments, I'll be so honest. When I look at the comments on like my videos that I do, where I back it up with scripture, I'm like, God, please, even though I'm doing your work and I'm glad that people see me in a good light, please don't let this hit my ego. Please don't, because I'm not somebody who's here to like just be a good person. I'm a human, but at the same time, I want people to realize that I'm a testament of what it means for God to work within you. When things don't work, when things don't work out, when things don't work, you go your way. I'm a testament of how God can use somebody like me who thought he had everything put together, but just needed to fully surrender and allow God to work in me. And honestly, I may not be at my promised land yet, but I feel so much more peace in my mind. Yes, so much more. Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
God's great.
This was amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Give me a hug. That was so good.
Thank you
well
so much.
done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, so one thing on show that we have is the Bello box, and it's just a moment for me to, give it a little something. I don't know. It can be anything, right? But I really thought about you, and I was like, for everything I've seen, and knowing the transition that's occurred in you, you just deserve this. So,
thank you.
Can I get the Bello box, please? Thank you.
Yeah, what's going on?
No, it's really sweet.
Is it?
Yeah, it's really sweet.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so the gist of it is that I feel like I know that you're very strong, and I know that you're in a great position right now, and God is working. But I also know that we're human, and sometimes our flesh tries to do a little. We fight back, but it still tries to do a little something. And in those moments, I know one thing that really helps me is when I hear things from either myself or my community, that people around me. And so I asked two people to give you a little word. Or when those moments try to do a little something.
Nice. Okay, wait, okay.
It's your girl, Miss Davies. We've had these conversations offline before, but I just wanted to give you a little reminder that you are doing amazingly well. I want you to keep going. And it's important that we give you your flowers. You already know how great you are and how great you've been. You've been making us laugh on the internet for so many years. And I know you will continue to do so. God will just continue to elevate the steps. So please never doubt the path that you are on.
Oh, my
You
God.
just gotta keep going. You've done it before. You entertain. You're an actor. You're talented. What can't you do? Do you know what I mean? It's gone dark. But I think you just got to remember, like, you've done it before, you can do it again. And there's people out there that support you, so show them who Ehiz is. Do you know what I mean?
I'll send those over to you.
Yes, please. Them, like Mercedes and Moyo are both like they're people who I would say, yeah, thank you, Chip. Yeah, give me that. Waterworks, goodness sakes. Honestly, they are both people that I say like their hearts are pure. Yeah. And honestly, I remember I met Mercedes at a brunch some time ago, and we spoke, and she just poured life into me, and Moyo as well. Like I've known him for a long time. And he even knew me during my YouTube days. So it's just so nice to know that like I have people who are still there who are not malicious and they just want to see me win. So yeah, I'm so grateful. So guys, thank you so much.
You're welcome, man. You deserve that. You really do. We can't wait to see you win for real. Like the whole world.
The whole world.
The whole world.
Global visibility.
Yeah, backing you, okay? Please make us proud.
Thank you so much. No, it means a lot. Thank you. That was so sweet. Thank you for putting that together.
You're welcome.
Thank you.